So in this video, we're going to look at how to write the equation of a line when you're given the gradient and you're given a ordered pair. So let's quickly recap what is the equation of a line. So it can be written in y equals mx plus c or y equals mx plus b, but they mean the same thing. So the m stands for the gradient or the slope, which is the rate of change. And the c or the b is just the y-intercept on the graph. So we're going to have a go at doing questions where we're given the gradient and we're given an ordered pair. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to write the equation of a line and then we can show how we can do it on a graph. Okay, so the first thing we can do, if you're given a graph, it's super easy. You can plot the point, which is 2 and 4, and then the gradient is 3, which is the rise over the run. So rise over run, which is going to be 3 over 1. So that means I'm going to go up by 3 and I'm going to go to the right by 1. And I could draw a perfect line through them 2 points. And that would indicate where my y-intercept is. So the equation of this line is going to be y equals 3x and the y-intercept is negative 2. So if you have a graph, super easy. You can plot your point to rise over run and draw your line to work out your y-intercept. However, you could be given really large numbers, so either a large gradient or an ordered pair that's quite large, which will be difficult to graph, or you just not might have a graph to do this with. So another way to do it is to use the actual equation, which is y equals mx plus b. So I have the gradient, which is 3, so y equals 3x plus b. And because I know the ordered pair 2 and 4 has to lie on the line, I'm just going to substitute that into the equation. So we're going to have 4 equals 3 times by 2 plus b. 3 times 2 is 6, minus 6 from both sides, and you have negative 2 equals b. So if I have to write the equation of a line, I now know what b is. It's y equals 3x minus 2. And that is the equation of a line. So we've done it from a graph, and we've just proved that it's correct just by using the equation. So let's have a look when we have maybe a negative slope or a negative gradient. Okay, so I'm going to write the equation y equals mx plus b. I'm going to substitute my slope in, so y equals negative 2x plus b. I have an ordered pair that has to lie on the line, so 7 equals negative 2. And multiply negative 3 plus b. 2 negatives make a positive, so that's going to become 6 plus b. Subtract 6 from both sides, 1 equals b. So the equation is y equals negative 2 plus 1. And we can check this by plotting the actual ordered pair, which is negative 3 and 7. And the rise over the run is negative 2 over 1. I don't have any space to go up, so I could just do the reverse. So I could go down by 2, and I could go to the right by 1. But if I do that, that is what my graph would look like. My y-intercept is 1, and we rise by 2, and we go to the left by 1. So rise 2, 1, rise 2, 1. Right, let's have a look then at a slightly different question when we have a fraction involved. So in this question, when we have a fraction, some people get a little bit, not confused, but they just find it a little bit more difficult to deal with fractions, but it is something we have to deal with. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my slope in as 2 over 3, then I have x and I have y. So if I put that in, I'm going to have 6 equals 2 over 3 times by 4 plus c. When you're multiplying fractions, I like to put the whole number over 1 and say 6 equals 2 times 4 is 8 and 1 times 3 is 3 plus c. Because I'm going to now subtract 8 over 3 from both sides, I'm going to change that 6 so it's a fraction too. But I want it to be the denominator to be over 3. So if I want to change 6 over 1, I'm going to do it at the top. So the denominator is 3. I have to multiply it by 3. So that's going to become 18 over 3. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to write 18 over 3. And I'm going to minus 8 over 3. and that will give me c. So now I can just subtract the numerators. So 18 minus 8 is 10. So this becomes 10 over 3 equals c. And that will be my equation. So y equals 2 over 3x plus 10 over 3. So if I'm going to plot this then, it's a little bit more difficult because I actually have my y-intercept is a fraction. So if to graph it, it might be better off just to graph the ordered pair, which is 4 and 6, which is here. And then I can do the rise over the run. So it wants me to rise by 2 and run by 3. But I'm going to go backwards because I don't have any space at the top. So I'm going to go down by 2 and to the left 3. And that's where another ordered pair is. And that is how I can graph the line. Another way to look at this is because this is in slope-intercept form, I could write this in standards form and multiply everything by 3, and it will eliminate the fractions. So it will become 3y equals 2x plus 10. And that might be a little bit easier to graph, which is a topic for a different video. But it might be easier just to do the rise over the run and the point in question. Right, last question then, we're going to have a look at a real life problem. So in this question, it says Donna has joined a gym. Every time she goes to the gym, she pays $4. So every time she goes to the gym, she has to pay $4. She also had to pay a joining fee. Donna has been to the gym 7 times and paid $58. Write an equation to represent the total cost C she will pay to go to the gym T times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call usually the x-axis, I'm going to call that T, and I'm going to put the y-axis as C for cost. So the bottom is going to be the number of times she goes to the gym, and up the side is going to be the cost. So in this question, it says she has to pay $4 every time she goes to the gym. So if she goes once, it'll be 4 times 1. If she goes 5 times, I would do 4 times 5. So that essentially then is my slope. It's the rate of change. Every time we increase the number of times she goes to the gym, it will increase by 4. So that is my rate of change. So instead of x, that's going to be t. Then, let me just erase that. Then it says she has a joining fee, but I don't know what the joining fee is. I have no idea. So I'm going to say just plus b. So I know the cost is going to equal 4t plus b. I don't know what the joining fee is. However, it has told me one of her situations. It's told me when t is 7, so when she goes to the gym 7 times, it cost her 58 dirham, which is going to be my C. So it's told me an ordered pair. So what I can do now, because it's a large number and it might be quite difficult to do rise over run, what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute this into the equation. So when C is 58, I knew that she went to the gym 7 times, and that should let me find out how much the fee is. So 58 equals 4 times 7 is 28 plus b. Subtract 28 from both sides, and we're going to get the answer as 30 equals b. So my equation is cost is 4 multiply the number of times she goes to the gym plus the membership fee that she had to pay at the beginning. So if I graph this, I know that it's going to be the y-intercept is 30. If I try and do rise over run, it might be a little bit difficult just because it either goes up in 2s and the scale on the bottom goes up in 1s, so it might confuse people. So why not just plot the other point that they gave us, so which is 7 and 58, which is going to be here, and then you can just join them 2 points together. Now that we've graphed it, we can read a little bit of information off what different things actually mean. Okay, so now that we have the equation, y equals 4x plus 30, we can see that the 30 is the joining fee, because that's the y-intercept. And then if you look at the graph, again, similar to the one in the last video, there's no negatives, because you can't have negative t and you can't have negative cost. You can't go to the gym negative times, and you can't get money back for going to the gym. So that's the reason that there's no negatives. So we're going to move to the next video now, where it's going to show us how to do everything we've just done, but when we're given 2 points.